The simplest definition of deforestation is intentional clearing of forest land. One of its negative effects is the reduction of the soil's ability to hold water. As a result, water from heavy rainfall flows over the surface and causes flooding. Back in June, when the newly built Coastal Plain Highway saw significant flooding and damage as a result, experts within the Ministry of Infrastructure, Development and Housing pointed to deforestation as the primary reason.
What we have been experiencing is, I think, a part of our own making. Deforestation has become a major issue. You have to understand that trees and all of these things help with minimizing erosion. It directs the flow of water to a specific area. Once you take that out, then it's a free flow.
Other entities created that problem for us by deforestation upstream. And based on my visit this morning, I saw many other areas where we have lost a lot of forests. And it is clean now, where people are developing, their new businesses opening, their new parks opening.
The 36-mile highway is surrounded by vast flatlands and lush forest. 15 miles in sits the entrance to an eco-adventure park that opened back in March of this year. The Excalibur Adventure Park sits on 1,000 acres of forested land that borders the Manatee Forest Reserve to the north. So, is this eco-adventure park contributing to the deforestation that the Ministry of Infrastructure Development says has become a major issue? The company refutes any such claim. We spoke with Francis Kokol, the manager of Excalibur Adventure Park.
All along the watershed, so we have planted, and if you look in our logo, it has the number 5,000. We have planted over 5,000 key stone trees such as the mahogany, the cedar, sapodilla, and other fruit trees to encourage wildlife along the watershed.
What was considered in the development process to maintain the integrity of the rich forest that we have within this area?
So one of the things that was considered was the landscaping, the drainage of the area, and reforesting this area.
How are you all different than developers that comes and perhaps just wants to clear land and make money off of it, as some people would want to assume?
We work with the environment, and we, again, I will emphasize on planting rather than cutting down trees. We leave trees that are already there, so we do selective clearing, or also if we have mahogany trees or sapodilla trees or any tree that has significance, we leave it there and we work around it.
The proprietors of the Eco Park have also established 2 conservation groups. For further context, the lands that run parallel to the highway have been deemed as a crucially important forest corridor by conservationists. It connects the Maya Mountain Massif in the south to the northern portion of Selva Maya. The Manatee Forest Reserve also forms a large part of this important forest link that jaguars and the endangered birds tapirs, among other wildlife species, use to traverse the country. Satellite imagery from over the last decade reveals significant land clearing along the southern border of the Manatee Forest Reserve, and even more within the area designated as the Maya Forest Corridor.
It's come to a point where we really need to band together to save this area. Belize is world-renowned for its protected area system. But one of the gaps is the connection between those protected areas. What wildlife in particular would these corridors be especially important for? Jaguars are wide-ranging species that need large areas to sustain them. This corridor has been shrinking.
So it's not only the flood waters that are cause for concern along the Coastal Plain Highway. Deforestation is posing significant threats to the movement of wildlife species. The Maya Forest Corridor Trust used the June 2024 flooding as an opportunity to write to the government to highlight issues such as illegal logging and the arbitrary issuance of permits for land surveying and clearing in the area. And While satellite imagery may not reveal significant signs of deforestation within the Manatee Forest Reserve itself, Jason Alshaft, the chairman of Gills Point Manatee, a small Creole community along the Coastal Plain Highway, says illegal logging is taking place at an alarming rate within the reserve.
There is a lot. There is a lot of logging going on. Some we have questioned, and it turned out it was illegal. Forest Service came in, extracted what they had already cut, and then made the roads impassable again, so that it was much more difficult for them to access the area. But sometimes we get trails and push where people might find a beautiful tree that they know they can make some money on, and they harvest it. We see trucks coming and going all the time with logs. Something that I don't know is a lot of times I see small pine trees that are coming out, so it seems like they're getting smaller and smaller, and what they take is a little bit more like, we'll just take it.
Would you classify the cause of the recent floodings as a result of deforestation within the Manatee Forest Reserve?
I think it could be to some degree. I think recently, I think the change in the road and the pushing of water in different directions has really been what caused some of the flooding that we experienced. A lot of times in that area that had flooded and lifted the road, that's an area that has flooded in the past, but it's rare. But now with all the water that's being pushed to that same river, I think that's what's causing it to get close to flooding almost every time it rains.
We reached out to the Forestry Department for an interview. They informed us that they were unable to comment at this time due to ongoing discussions with conservationist groups on how best to address deforestation within the reserve. In 2021, the Maya Forest Corridor Trust purchased 30,000 acres of land that was under threat of deforestation. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.